John Eats Cheap doing an old family favorite. It's funny because Mrs. Cheap and I both grew up this way with Reuben sandwiches. We both love Reubens, and they're great with, you know, deli sliced corned beef or corned beef brisket sliced thin, and you make your Reuben. It's so great, but neither one of us ever had a real Reuben until we were like together. We grew up with Reubens.
I thought that was how corned
Mrs.
beef
Cheap
was.
thought corned beef only came in a can. I knew it did come in a brisket because we used to eat corned beef and cabbage a couple times a year. And the cut of corned beef was always the point of the brisket, the cheap, fatty kind. But when we made Reubens in my family, Mrs. Cheap as well, we used the canned corned beef, which they still carry. You can get it at the store. It's about $3.59, I think, for a 12-ounce can. And this is how we made it. We would actually, my family would do Reuben building parties. We'd get a Saturday afternoon, get a loaf of rye bread, we'd get the Swiss cheese, the sauerkraut, and we'd make Reubens and freeze them in just little sandwich Ziplocs so that later on down the road you just, you know, feel like a Reuben. Oh, let's just thaw it out and fry it and it's ready to go. So we really just want to make an old school Reuben. So here's the deal. First of all, with the can, here's just a little tip. So it'll come out easier. Just pop a couple holes in the top to get rid of that vacuum. And now the key goes in.
The key is key.
Oh, you got to have the key. And just turn it. Now this is very sharp, very dangerous. And it takes a while to go all the way around. And yes, it does have that gelatinous fat, but you think about how much fat is in corned beef anyway. There's a lot of it. So we're just gonna go around. And I'm not exactly sure how Mrs. Cheap's family did it. My family, to make it seem more like, see how much easier this comes out? Look at that. My family actually sliced the canned corned beef to make it like sliced. Did you guys do that?
That's what we did too.
Okay. And I'm gonna slice, I think I'm gonna slice this way because we've got big pieces of bread. Big pieces of bread here. So I think I'm just gonna like cut it in half here because Mrs. Cheap and I are gonna split. So I'm gonna just slice it in half.
It's so gelatinous.
I know. See, so this will be our Reuben sandwiches. We'll just do one there, one there.
Oh my goodness.
They'll be big, but that's okay. All right. So now I just want to top this with our, now my family, it was smaller bread, so we did it this way. But, oh, I'm not kidding you. You would come home late at night on Friday and it's like, oh, look at that, a Reuben in the freezer. That was all kinds of right. So, we're just gonna top this with the sauerkraut. And when I was growing up, we never put Thousand Island dressing on our Reubens. I know that's the classic way to do it, and that's how I do it nowadays.
We always did.
We never did when I was growing up. I don't know if somebody in the family, you know, mom or dad didn't like it or what. Also, when we made them, we didn't heat this up because we were freezing them. But I'm gonna heat this up a little bit. And that'll help melt the cheese as well. So here's our Thousand Island. These are gonna be really thick. I probably could have made a couple. I should have made one and froze it, shouldn't I?
Probably.
So there we go. There's our Thousand Island. And now we'll do our Swiss cheese on top. Looks like one slice will do it for each. But remember, this is a half a sandwich. I'm going to go into the microwave until that melts. So we're going to go ahead and butter up our bread. This isn't very soft because it's kind of chilly right now. So you just kind of get it spread on there as best you can. This is seeded rye bread. As I said, when I was a kid, our rye bread was a lot smaller and darker. So it may have been some kind of pumpernickel or something like that. But it was good. All right, so as you can see, we got a lot of that fat out of there. That's another good reason to heat that up. So now let's get her ready. I'm going to do a double on the bottom and 2 halves. These are really going to be thick.
Oh my goodness.
We should have made some for the freezer just for old time's sake. But there we go.
Oh my gosh. That's too big.
We'll have leftovers. This is old school. Remembering the good times.
What happened while I was in the other room?
I flipped it, and it's not completely done on this side yet. You can see the cheese isn't completely melted.
But
I just flipped
the
it.
flip is like the magic move.
It's a good move. The flip is a good move. So there's our canned corned beef Reuben. Quick and easy and cheap. Now, I'm not going to cut it this way because remember I have like rectangles in there, so I want to cut it in the middle. There we go. Hope I got through it all. And that is your canned Reuben. That's looking pretty good. Time for a hot bite. This may fall apart. It is not a perfect Reuben that you're used to from the deli, but that is great memories. That's the way I had them when I was a kid. And the Reuben I fell in love with. Go ahead and use that canned corned beef. Why not? It's easy to chew. Thanks for watching Johnny's Sheep. Follow us on TikTok too. Also Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Give us a thumbs up, a like, and a share. Thanks for watching.